Hi, welcome to Bollywood Movies Plot new episode. Today, we are going to talk about Andhadhun. Before beginning, please take out a moment to upvote this video and subscribe to our channel. It will help us to grow more. As the film opens, we see a rancher chases a troublesome, apparently outwardly hindered rabbit in a cabbage field next to an expressway. As the rabbit takes cover behind an achievement on the expressway, the rancher spots it and focuses with his weapon. Akash, played by Ayushmann Khurrana, is a gifted yet apparently blind musician looking for motivation. He invests his energy intensely endeavoring to finish a melodic piece, which is an illustration of his best craftsmanship. The main individuals, apparently mindful of his harmless presence at first, are an adjoining kid who continues to test him and endeavors to check whether he is really visually impaired, and a pet feline named Ronnie. Akash is pushed over while going across the street one day by Sophie, played by Radhika Apte, whose father possesses a coffee shop. Sophie is awed by Akash's ability and gets him a gig at the cafe where he is seen by days of old entertainer Pramod Sinha, played by Anil Dolan. Pramod is hitched to Simi, played by Tabu, and to remember their wedding commemoration, welcomes Akash over to his condo for a confidential presentation for him as well as his significant other. Sophie drops him back to his level, whereupon it is uncovered that Akash can see, as he watches Sophie drive away. Sophie is neglectful of this, notwithstanding, and the two foster a relationship. At the point when Akash arrives at Pramod Sinha's level, Simi opens the entryway and is hesitant to give him access, yet does so when she sees that her neighbor is watching them. Simi, persuaded that Akash is visually impaired, permits him to play the piano inside. Akash starts, however promptly sees a body close by. Be that as it may, he fakes obliviousness and keeps on playing the piano to keep up with his act of visual impairment. Akash pardons himself and goes to the restroom, whereupon he sees overseer Manohar, played by Manav Vij, stowing away, however goes about as though he knows nothing about him, since he is thought to be visually impaired. On his revisitation of the piano, he figures out how to distinguish the body as that of Pramod Sinha. Simi and Manohar, who were darlings, tidy the body up quietly and put it in a bag to be arranged off while Akash resumes playing the piano, probably uninformed. In a flashback, it is uncovered that Pramod had misled his significant other about an alleged excursion to Bangalore, yet had, as a general rule, gone to bring commemoration gifts as something special for his better half. A while later, Akash endeavors to report the homicide yet can't, as he finds that Manohar is a controller in the police headquarters. As Controller Manohar would realize Akash knew the entire time, Akash at long last winds up lying about the kid living first floor, and blaming him for killing his feline Ronnie to change the explanation of his coming the police. Yet again Simi figures out how to kill the neighbor who had additionally seen Manohar's entrance into the level, in the accidental Akash's presence, who is compelled to proceed with his act of being uninformed about both of the homicides. Both Manohar and Simi keep on frightening Akash, unendingly testing him to determine assuming he was truly visually impaired. Akash at last breaks when Simi figures out how to pour poison in his espresso before him, trying to learn on the off chance that he was truly visually impaired. Akash then demands that he needs no issues, and simply needs to leave for a show in London. He then lets Simi know that he faked the visual impairment as a component of a social trial in one of his interests for motivation as a craftsman. Notwithstanding, he starts to stifle, understanding that a sweet that Simi had given him before was harmed. Spewing, he falls. Sophie drops by and sees that the adjoining kid had recorded a video of Akash moving and seeing his direction about like a typical individual. Incensed and shattered, she leaves him. Akash awakens and, understanding that he can't see, intensely washes his eyes. He understands he has been dazed and requests that Simi re-establish his sight. Simi advises him to zero in on his specialty and that nobody would accept his account of her responsibility on the two homicides since he was a visually impaired man, and leaves. After a conversation with Manohar, they conclude that blinding Akash wouldn't be enough as he might in any case uncover subtleties, and Manohar returns to complete the task. After a strained battle, Akash escapes out to the street, blacks out and comes to an obscure center, which is uncovered to be a front for illegal organ gathering. Dr. Swami, played Zakir Hussain, and his two associates choose to save Akash and help him as he continued looking for acquiring cash expected to switch his blinding. They grab and repress Simi and shake down Manohar into carrying 1 crore rupees to a predefined area. Right now a few turns come to fruition. The partners tie Akash up with Simi to guarantee all of the cash for themselves. They then, at that point, blackmail the cash from Manohar, who shoots one of them, however gets caught in a lift by the other. Manohar, caught, then winds up incidentally shooting himself, leaving his destiny unsure. The cash coerced from Manohar is in the end uncovered to be phony cash. In the interim, a frantic Akash eliminates Simi's blindfold after she assists him with liberating himself. Akash, blind however directed by Simi, endeavors to escape while Simi liberates herself and assaults him. Dr. Swami enters and both of them repress Simi. Dr. Swami and Akash tie Simi in the storage compartment of a vehicle and start driving. Dr. Swami uncovers his arrangements to collect Simi's organs for 6 crore rupees and pay for Akash's cornea relocate, yet Akash is ethically irritated by the thought. Dr. Swami drives away with Akash, with Simi bound in the storage compartment. After 2 years, in Europe, a voyaging Sophie meets Akash, still obviously blind with dull glasses, at one of his gigs in Europe, where he recounts her the whole story. Akash then tells her that after Dr. Swami had driven away with him, Simi stirred in the storage compartment and began making commotions. Dr. Swami excuses Akash's doubts, stops the vehicle and goes to the storage compartment of the vehicle, where he is quickly overwhelmed by Simi. Simi then assumes command over the vehicle. Akash, imagining that it is still Dr. Swami in the driver's seat, keeps on attempting to persuade him to let Simi go. Hearing this, Simi drops Akash off and drives off, yet adjusts her perspective and pivots, aiming to run him over. As of now, the bunny, from the start of the film, rams into her windshield, making her let completely go and crash. The vehicle detonates, killing Simi with it. Sophie hears the whole story and empathizes. She lets Akash know that he ought to have reaped Simi's organs and gotten his sight back. Akash, notwithstanding, doesn't let out the slightest peep and leaves with the assistance of his stick, which has a bunny cut on its handle. When carefully concealed, he utilizes the stick to sagaciously smack Akan out of his way. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more Bollywood movies plots.